Hey everyone, happy Monday. It's time for Versus. It's time for Toy Story Talk with my favorite panelists on YouTube. Here they all are. Let's go around the horn. Everyone introduce yourselves. But they all know you. People in the chat, they all know you anyways. But let's give a refresher for anyone that's just tuning in.
Steph, my nerdy home. Toy Story 5 wasn't as bad as Toy Story 4, but it still didn't do it for me.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Blaine from Criticless.com. And I, after all these Criticless reviews, I think I'm also glad that I pumped the brakes for Toy Story, but I guess we'll hear the rest of y'all's thoughts.
Hi, I'm Elaine at Nerd Cookies. I would like to save Stargate, and I did love Toy Story 5. I enjoyed it. I'd say I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, there we go. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Derek and Dante? We're his favorite people to stream with. Us. I don't see you
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Where are they?
I haven't seen Toy Story, so let's talk about House of the Dragon at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it's me and Elaine as the outliers. And to answer people in the chat, yes, I walk downstairs alone and in pairs.
Well, there you go. And I don't know if you heard that in the background, but my dog was barking. Apparently, my dog has super hearing like Crypto and could hear that bell through two doors and started barking. But there you go. Let's get to it and let's see we'll get to your comments, but let's look at the box office. How exactly did Toy Story do? I'm excited. Alan, you're the numbers guy. Let's go.
Yeah, well, there's one clear winner, a single clear winner this weekend, and that's Toy Story 5, taking in 160 million domestic and 160 million international for $320 million. It's a third of a way to $1 billion.
Not even in 7 days.
Not even. No, this is the weekend. This is the last 3 days. Disclosure Day comes in far behind at 17 million, dropping 60%. And Obsession still holding strong at 13 million. Backrooms at 7. Both Obsession's at 200 million total. Backrooms is getting close to it. Scary Movie, Master Universe, Star Wars, and Grogu. Both Obsession and Backrooms are about to surpass it. Death of Robin Hood, Leviticus, all of Chris's favorite gay movies of the weekends. Respectable.
And Michael, rounding out the top 10, still raking in the bucks.
Look at that, 939 million.
Chugging along.
That's nuts.
It may not make it to $1 billion, but to get so close.
Yeah.
And I saw someone post, I'd love to see this. The sequel should be called Jackson.
They are making the part 2, by the way.
But what's it called? What's the name? Michael Part 2?
Michael Part 2. Part 2.
Michael
They're going to be fancy.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. That is not a shock. I saw Toy Story with a packed audience that Thursday. Even though I was invited to an early screening, I want to see it with a paying audience. And frankly, they loved it. They clapped at the end. They laughed at all the parts and all the jokes. What do people here? What do you all think of Toy Story? What's the panel's view? I think it's kind of split.
I didn't watch it, so it's all you guys.
I enjoyed it. It's better than 4, in my opinion. Still, the first 3 are top tier, but this one's a nice addition, and it's better than 4.
I think everybody agrees. 4 was.
I don't think anyone's saying that it's better than any of the first 3 in any way.
I guess it feels more connected to the story, I guess, of Bonnie. It just felt like, I guess, a side quest more.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. The first 3 movies, that's Andy's story. And you could wrap it up, put that on your bookshelf. That's Andy's story. And now we're telling Bonnie's story. And this movie is clearly from the little girl's perspective versus the boy's perspective of the first 3.
And my theater was the exact same. It was packed with families. And I mean, if we're going to still ask the question if it needs to be made, they need this movie. They had a great time, great summer family film. I mean, what else are they going to watch? Disclosure Day which I did
Right.
watch, is abysmal. So I'm
It's so
glad that
bad.
they had that great time, Father's Day weekend, and they clapped at the end too. Everyone was having fun. So yeah, I'm happy that it was made for that. And it was very entertaining for me too.
Blaine, Steph, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I've been watching our Criticless reviews. I was debating on it, and it's been staying in the 50% range. We're at like 70 reviews now, and it's still at like 54%. So it seems to be pretty divisive. So I pumped the brakes. I was like, I think I'm going to wait. My kids also weren't chomping at the bit to see it because 4 was the only one that's come out in their lifetime, and they didn't care about it at all. So
I didn't care for it, honestly. I'm not really liking these Bonnie stories when it comes to the Toy Story movies. When I take into consideration how they're made, what the creators are saying about it, and how they're writing it, I don't really care about it. I think that when marketing these movies, you're pushing Buzz and Woody, and that's just not what the movie is about. And I know that with this one, they're saying that this is Jessie's story, and unfortunately for me, I think that this movie kind of cheapens her story in Toy Story 2, and the her story with Emily and how she finally got over that. And this movie like really cheapens that moment, and it kind of also exploits the audience when it comes to that story, because that's such a great story. She has a fantastic backstory that they dealt with and resolved in the Toy Story movies already. So when you go to this story, when you go to this movie, it really cheapens that and sort of exploits how you felt about her story and with Emily and everything. And the reason I say it's exploitative is because she's already dealt with all of that stuff. And so because she's already dealt with all of that stuff, when she's going through this all over again, it kind of makes that character of Jessie seem really selfish, because we've already seen her go through and resolve all of these things. So it really does a disservice to that character of Jessie. And I know I might be like looking really, really deep into this child's movie, but I think that if this was a one-off movie where we're finally just now learning about Jessie's backstory, it would be different, as opposed to this is already a part of her storyline in the past like 3 movies, because in Toy Story 4 she really didn't get anything with her character, but in the past like 3 movies that we've had, Toy Story 2 especially, when you meet Jessie, this movie just completely really does her a disservice to that character.
Rob, thanks for joining us. Any thoughts on Toy Story 5? Did you see it?
I did.
Birthday.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I love from the time it opened on the desert island with the crashed cargo container, and I was in.
Yeah.
I was locked.
That's how I felt right from the opening moment there.
Yeah, and when they have to go back and go to Old Buzz and use something on him to upgrade themselves and unlock the upgrade, I thought that was great. But overall, I would like to have heard all Steph's comments. I just came in right at the last end of them. But I mean, I enjoyed what it was. I was emotionally connected to it. And I think that, there was I was very haunted by the shots when they were looking out of the window and seeing all the kids looking into their devices, screens. And I was, and they did that twice in the movie. And that was haunting to me, because I was thinking about myself. If somebody was looking in on me, how often they would find me staring into a screen and not living my life. And like right now, no, I'm just kidding. But no, and I did think it was pretty funny. And I have to say, I was too old to ever have a Conan O'Brien's character, one of those things like those potty training devices or whatever.
Yeah.
So it took me a minute to figure out, what is this?
I still don't know how it works.
But it got to I was like, I liked how old technology was being repurposed with new technology, and I had a lot of fun with the movie. I did think it ended abruptly, though.
Yeah,
it was just suddenly over.
No, I really.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elaine. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, good.
I thought it was a clever way to revisit Jessie. I mean, we already know that Andy. She was the first toy that was introduced to Bonnie as this rough and toughest cowgirl in the whole West. That was how. So, and even in the beginning of the 4th movie, she was the one that Bonnie favored. So I
Yeah.
like that they're showcasing that boys and girls play differently, and girls gravitate more to girl dolls. Like I know I played with dolls with a little bit, but I was thinking about when I play video games and I have the option to have a character creation in it. I usually always have chosen a female, a girl to play. That's just how I like to play it.
It's interesting that you say that, simply because for Toy Story 4, like at the end of Toy Story 3, and along with like, you know, all of the other side movies that they've done outside of the whole Toy Story movies, Bonnie actually loves playing with Woody. She really likes playing with Woody. And the only reason that they favored Bonnie over Woody is because they changed the character of Bonnie and turned her into the director's daughter. That's the only reason that they changed her, because you can see the difference in when you're watching these movies and the way that Bonnie plays with her toys. They changed it. They really did. And the director for Toy Story 4 was on in an interview said that I watch my daughter play with her toys and she doesn't play with Woody. Whereas in the movies, Bonnie does play with Woody. She loves her cowboy doll, right? She calls it my cowboy doll. She gets really excited when she sees Woody. And in all of these other movies, she plays with Woody. She has no problem with Woody. But the director wanted Bonnie to be his daughter. And that's not only the other things that they changed, like they also changed the way Bonnie played with her toys, because when she's playing with her toys in Toy Story 5, she plays with them like Andy, and it's just another way of them to sort of kind of hit your nostalgia. Oh yeah, this is how Andy plays with his toys. But that's not how Bonnie always played with her toys. Bonnie, like little girls, made herself a part of the story. She made herself a character in the way she played with her toys, in her playtime.
Here's
and
the thing, though.
Andy didn't do that, but they changed that. But
here's the thing, though. I wouldn't canonize Bonnie from Toy Story 4. I mean, I think I would much prefer a more authentic girl playing with toys as Toy Story 5 than to say, oh no, they're violating the spirit of the character of Toy Story 4.
And girls
I think that's
wrong. All that.
The other thing is, you know, I'm looking at a lot of the reactions, especially in the chat here, and the sense that I get is people are responding to Toy Story 5 the way they responded to Phantom Menace. You know, oh, that wasn't my movie. That's not a Star Wars movie. You know, this is so different from that. But eventually, we've grown to realize how important the Phantom Menace was, and the other prequels compared to the sequels. And I think that's kind of where we're gonna wind up with Toy Story 5. Is you know, if you love the first three, you are gonna hate Toy Story 5. But at the same time, you have to recognize it is good storytelling. It is, you know, for the most part, your characters coming back. And I think over time, you're going to realize, and also kids love it. And over time, you're just going to recognize that it is not the awful movie you think it is.
I think that the movie had potential. I really do. Toy Story 4 is awful. I can go back and watch Toy Story 4 and be reminded of the awful movie that it is. It is absolutely awful. The characters aren't the same characters that they were in the previous films. And if we're being consistent with these movies, because it's Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it has to be consistency throughout this world, it's not consistent. And even the character of Bonnie is not consistent because the director wanted to change her. So from Toy Story 3 going into Toy Story 4 and 5. So like you have to have some consistency there, and there is none. And when in terms of 4, 5, and 6, except for let's change these characters and try to sort of hit your nostalgia for all of you that like these movies. Yes, these movies are made for children, and children are going to like them regardless. Yes, this movie is going to make $1 billion because it carries the name of Toy Story. But I mean, I think that there was a lot of potential in this film, especially going the route of lily pad and technology, because those scenes were really good. It's just I find it unnecessary to dive even deeper into Jessie's backstory and bring Emily into it and have her end up on the farm. I was all completely unnecessary. Let's just deal with her going up against the lily pad, and you just didn't have that. We should have had more of that, more butting heads. And all of the other stuff is just completely unnecessary. Having Jessie have to retread her old issues that she already dealt with, it just made Jessie's character look bad. Not to mention what they did with Woody and Buzz. Like, it was just really bad.
Derek, good to see you. DA, did you see Toy Story 5? Any thoughts?
Yeah, how do you play with
I did
your
not
Woody?
see Toy Story 5. I will not see Toy Story 5. Zero interest.
It's
I
all
like the
good.
first trilogy was great. I think what are they doing? A second trilogy now? Is that basically what they're
That's basically
setting up?
what they're doing.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was a good, entertaining movie, and I just whether or not we disagree about certain jokes or certain directions, it was entertaining, and I think there was a reason for it to exist that is meaningful. They're a movie about devices hindering a child's development in regards to forming important social skills and finding balance and learning the difference between the value of real friendship and how many
Virtual
followers you
friendship.
have on online. I just think this is a serious issue that's only continued to get worse exponentially for especially girls. But I think there's something, these movies are always, they're kids movies, but I always view them as actually family movies or for adults because adults were kids once. And they also have that nostalgic feeling of playing with their favorite toys. And I saw the first Toy Story as a kid, but I still find that same nostalgic feeling of the continuous installments that this particular franchise brings. And I still felt that here. I felt the same with the energy in the entire theater. So we can disagree on certain jokes and stuff, which I totally understand why people would have issues with Woody and Buzz. I just feel like there's plenty of good stuff to warrant its existence, and we can see that in terms of its reception to the audience that it's serving. And I feel like the Toy Story audience, for the most part, is still continuing to be served.
Well,
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I was surprised. I mean, one of the things, I guess I shouldn't have been, there was multi-generations. When I saw it in IMAX, I went down to the Irvine Spectrum and saw it. There were families with young kids. This was their first Toy Story movie.
Yeah.
And they're I saw families all wearing Toy Story t-shirts going in together. And the energy around that was palpable. And I think that what's really interesting about I've never looked at the Toy Story films as a interconnected sort of universe. They're films with continuing characters that have thematic similarities. But this is Pixar's. This is Pixar. This is the first Toy Story movie is really what started Pixar. This is their foundational franchise. And I think one of the interesting things about the Toy Story movies is they're not in any hurry to make them, because if you look at the time between each film, they're not just cranking these out. And I think that when you look at them, I thought this film, like Cookies brought up, there's a lot of interesting things, how the girls were treating each other when they found out, one of them was still playing with toys, and how she had to sort of sheepishly turn away from that, and how easily influenced she was. And they could have gone harder with the difference between technology and toys. But the fact is, kids aren't playing with toys at all today. And the fact that there's even toys left in this universe, and remember, these toys are basically from the 50s and 40s. These are not toys that have any connection to the modern age at all, with the possible exception of Buzz. But I've always thought of Buzz as being one step away from Big Track from the 1979 Sears catalog.
Or Major Matt Mason.
Major Matt, because that's what Buzz is with electronics. And no one, even people that collect Star Wars toys, don't even know who Major Matt Mason is anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that I did enjoy it. The filmmaking is impeccable. I mean, the direction of these movies, the animation of these movies, Randy Newman's score was great. It was great to see him come back. And I kind of expect each one of these movies to be standalones.
Oh, no, I don't.
So, yeah.
I have a quick question. One repeating thing that I kept seeing in a lot of our reviews was people talking about, I guess, like the feminization of Buzz at some point in this movie.
Yes.
And a lot of people kept harping on it. Is it as bad as like everybody's saying? Or
It's bad, but I'll say there's a story reason for it, because it's how Buzz is seen through Bonnie's eyes. Bonnie is pretending with Buzz and doing feminine girl things with Buzz. Would you say that's accurate, Steph?
Yeah.
Steph,
Sure.
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's like,
Sure. But I
Bonnie
honestly,
playing with
like,
Buzz, not Andy.
Sure.
okay.
It seems like there's a thing where delving
think
into
that-
lore, I don't know, but the toys seem to adapt. They have adaptive behavior by what child is playing with them. And we saw, like, with the new buzzes, the Buzz Army, and one of them gets found by one of the kids camping in the area, and the rest of the buzzes go after him. But once the child finds him, and he's like, the child's like caring for him as his parents are reading a story, he's like, oh, I'm good now. This is where I'm supposed to be. Like, he finds his purpose there. And I don't know, I feel like that's their mission, to make that's the Lord. That's their mission. Toys are to make children happy, whichever individual child that is. We see Bonnie play. We also see Blaze play, two different girls, different imaginations. It's interesting to see how she saw even Bullseye. Bullseye was a completely different iteration too in Blaze's mind. So that was, even in the girls that we saw playing out imaginary scenes was different. And I don't know. Yeah, I think that the toys are happy as long as children are playing with them, not stuffed in an attic, and because they're living out their purpose.
I mean, two things.
that's
You're bringing up
actually
you're bringing up two things that are really important. One is this idea of play. I mean, even though Lily Pad is not, she's the antagonist, but she's not evil. The movie still upholds the idea of play. To get off your devices and have fun and play. And the other thing that's in this movie that you don't see in the other two movies is Bonnie's story. The fact that she is this girl who is somewhat of a wallflower, who has a hard time making friends and falls under that peer pressure. And, I really felt like the way they dealt with that is the way I think parents would want to deal with something like that when they see that in their own kids. And so I just cannot get myself to hate this movie because it's not Andy's story, or it's not the way I wanted, or the way I remember Toy Story when I was a college student or a college graduate when I first saw it.
Well, remember, this story it's always been about parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's never been about children. It's always been about what parents are supposed to know about their children that they don't know. And one of the great things about this movie, I love the imagination sequences when you saw what the girls were envisioning, when they were playing with their toys. I thought that was amazing, and the different variations of those things happening. I mean, there's a reason why these toys are not modern toys, because the idea of play, the way you really had to bring imagination to these toys. I mean, Buzz has lights that light up, but for the most part, these toys are all imagination-based toys. They're not toys from the modern age. They're toys from 40s, 50s, even back to Woody's a 30s toy.
So look, regardless of what we think, it's a third of the way already to $1 billion. It will be
in 3 days. In
3 days. So it's gonna make $1 billion. Not movies that make $1 billion doesn't mean they're great movies, but it's good for the overall box office for sure.
And we have the 7th Minions movie coming out too. They're on number 7, Minions and Monsters, which looked fun too. That looked fun for everyone.
The whole Buzz Army is the Minions. That's pretty much what that is.
And I want to address
that's
something.
What that is. They took that from a literal Minions movie where you have this whole main storyline that's going on, and then you have a side quest of all the Minions coming over and trying to find something. That's a complete copy of the Minions.
Right. At least
except just the Buzz Army. But one thing that I do want to say about Buzz Lightyear and all of his feminization and silliness that they put in there, that was done deliberately by one of the co-writers, because she went on Blue Sky Social and sort of made fun of it. She says,
really?
So may I just say, typing the dumbest words possible for Buzz Lightyear to say with his actual mouth is great. It's a great job, and I'm very lucky to do it. So it is deliberate that they are making him like that. I don't see it as, I can see where people say like, oh, it's because a girl is, imagining and playing with her dolls like this. So of course he's going to be feminized or whatever. I think that that's a way to sort of write off in your mind how he's acting in this movie, because it's so different, but he didn't act that way in Toy Story 4 at all. And she was still playing with Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 4. Well, he wasn't really feminized in that way. So I think that when he did the whole Mrs. Nesbitt thing and he was like, oh, blah, blah, he was going through like this emotional crisis of figuring out that he is a toy. He has just found out that he is a toy, so he has this like internal struggle going on. He's sort of going crazy, and like that's the only other time that we've ever seen him in being played with by a girl, and you know that can get written off as he literally just found out that he's not a real space ranger. He fell on the toy, broke his arm off, and now he's being played with by a girl, and so he's just going crazy. So yeah, that's what I say about Buzz Lightyear acting like all feminized is the writer deliberately made him that way, and she was laughing about it. So
Well,
I mean, I haven't seen those interviews, but I feel like Buzz and Woody are themselves when they're being themselves. So when he said, Buzz or Woody, would you be my best man? I know we don't have a choice in these things, but if we do, I would prefer it if you would be my best man. And they had a lot of little moments like that where they are themselves. They are these characters. They were called in for help. I don't know if Woody was necessary for the story, but there would have been riots if he wasn't. And I'm glad he was in it. It was always great to see them reunite. I just feel like it wasn't as, I just don't feel like what they were made to be bastardized. I mean, I don't know if that was the writer's intention. I haven't seen these interviews, but I didn't get the sense of that. I just felt like this is Bonnie's story, her perspective, and these girls playing. But there were moments where like this is Buzz and Woody that we remember, and they're friends. And even in those times where we don't get a choice in how Bonnie chooses to play with us. But if we did, I would have that you be my best man. I thought that was like a good point to bring out. And he wasn't the best man because that's not how the girls were playing with them at the end. I thought it was nice to see how girls play differently. That seemed based to me. And even some girls that are quirky also are different from other girls who are mean, who feel more freedom to be mean on social media and online. And other girls can feel pressure to grow up too fast. I mean, I thought those were all tastefully done and done in a way that was very entertaining. And whether or not people think that's too late, I mean, we can debate on that, but I feel like it's never too late because we still have these ongoing problems with social media and tech and devices and their effects on young people. So I think it was a good way to do that. And I was entertained. So that's
yeah. And I can see people being entertained by it. Again, it's a kid's movie. And, you know, just because I really like these movies, and I can watch them over and over again, especially like the first three. And this one was just, I think that they had such a great concept in doing social media and getting bullied and whatever. You know, Jessie could have, if they wanted to put her in the role of Woody, she's like the leader of the room and all that stuff. She could have maybe taught Lilypad a lesson, you know, in all of that. She could have come together with Lilypad and sort of, you know, taught her how actually this is how it is. She should have these experiences. She should be able to play. She should be able to use her imagination. And we didn't even get a chance to see that because she was separated. Like they never really had a chance. Lilypad had to learn that on her own. And it was really annoying when, you know, Lilypad doesn't even get to see Bonnie play with her toys. There could have been a scene where she sees that and that she sees how it contrasts to how Bonnie plays with her. And there could have been something like that. And it could have been done so well, but instead, they had to go about it a different way. And it was done in a way that it had so much potential for me. And I was just like, it's just not good.
Well, I want to point out the director, though, Andrew Stanton, was involved in the writing of all the Toy Story movies.
I want to end on a serious note. I think that aside from the Buzz Lightyear, you know, the whole pack of Buzz Lightyears was very entertaining. The tech and Lilypad aspect I thought was one of the best parts of the movie. I felt it was very well handled in a very light way. It didn't get too serious,
but it got its point across. I think that's
it got its points across. But I want to point out that that like that piece of tech with potty training for anyone here that is raising kids. Let me give you like some real quick advice. You don't need that tech. I potty trained both my kids in a week. It's very simple. It's very simple.
By example, what?
You get a jar filled with candy. You put it on a high shelf in the bathroom. You get the potty, and every time your child goes in the potty, they get to pick one piece of candy from that jar. Both my kids potty trained in a week.
It works with puppies too. You just switch it to kibble.
Yeah, there you go. It's, simple. So let's do that. Hey, Supergirl is coming out this week. Alan and I will be seeing it this weekend. And this story has, I think you have notes for this story, Badger. I'll bring it up on screen. Good, not nice. Millie Alcock and Craig Gillespie on their complicated Supergirl.
Supergirl is designed as the opposite of Superman. Unlike Clark Kent's hopeful, idealistic nature, Kara is angry, cynical, and deeply scarred by witnessing Krypton's destruction, according to Alcock. She's such a beautiful contrast to Clark. Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things. Because Earth's yellow sun makes her nearly invulnerable, Kara travels to worlds with red suns, where her powers are weakened enough for her to do something as ordinary as get drunk. As the script emphasizes, she may not be nice, but she's good. Director Craig Gillespie, known for films like Tanya, and Cruella, was drawn to Supergirl's damaged personality. She comes from a lot of trauma, and she goes through the film. She's almost forced to confront it. Alcock said she avoids reading internet reactions because negative comments can reinforce personal insecurities. That's a good decision. Not everyone's going to like you. One viral complaint questioned how Supergirl could have pierced ears if she's bulletproof. Alcock laughed at the explanation that she simply got them pierced under a red sun. Gillespie praised James Gunn for establishing a version of Kara that is complex and unapologetic. He also emphasized that this Supergirl is intentionally not sexualized. She's literally like she's gotten out of bed and gives like zero fucks about what other people think.
I like that.
Superman's colorful costume, gifted by Clark, symbolizes heroism, but Kara spends much of the film refusing to wear it. Earlier scripts had her suit up sooner, but Gillespie delayed that moment because her story is about resisting the role of a hero before finally choosing it for herself. She's running away from this responsibility to want to be a hero.
Well,
Sounds
what do
like a
we
great movie, right?
what do we look? There have been so many videos about Millie Alcock's comments on the red carpet. I think some can be overblown, but it seems like what we're about to see, because Al and I are going to see it tonight. Here's the problem I have. This character she's playing is like every character of that type. They are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same ideals, the same conflict, and the same resolution to conflict. It's no one's going to save her. She's going to save herself. She is literally the icon of the modern female hero. And I kind of think when you look at movies like, the recent Mad Max movie, which I thought was a very good movie, but it was rejected because the marketing told everybody it was going to be yet another girl boss adventure. I mean, what are your thoughts now that we're seeing even people like Grace Randolph? Seems like she did not like the movie.
I want my Supergirl sexualized. Hot take, but I want her sexualized.
Sexy is fine to a point, I think. But what do you guys think about all these comments and what we're seeing?
I'll say it again. Superman saved the world. Supergirl saved herself.
Yeah, and they're doing that. I think that they're changing all of these characters, and this one specifically because this is her whole marketing. She's messy. She doesn't want to wear any makeup. You don't have to save the world. You can just save yourself, and sometimes that's okay. Pretty sure that's a line that Millie Alcock said in one of her interviews. It's all made so like young girls watching it can project themselves onto this character and feel better about themselves. Like, you can be messy. You're totally fine. You're fine just the way you are. There's no need for self-improvement. You don't have to look up to a superhero and see this superhero be virtuous and amazing and beautiful and gorgeous, and look up to that person and make you feel bad about yourself because that person is someone that's not attainable. It's not anything you're ever going to be. No. This is somebody who you can be. You can be messy and frumpy and not have to take care of yourself, not have to put any makeup on. And you know what? Just care about yourself, and that'll just be enough. This is something that is attainable to you and attainable to all the little girls and all the women that are out there, when it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't, because why on earth wouldn't you want to improve yourself? If there was some room for improvement, why wouldn't you want to improve yourself? Why wouldn't you want, to be better than yourself, better than you actually are? I think it does a disservice to the character completely, and she's not really helping all of the marketing. The fact that the marketing is hindering on the fact that she is messy. She doesn't really do her hair. She like rolls out of bed and she just goes about her day. She's got so much trauma. She's just like you, because all these girls around here, we all have trauma. See, you just have to worry about yourself. It's not anything that I want to see. I don't want to see a movie about myself. I want to see something better than me.
Well, and the weird thing for me is that this seems like, I mean, as we said, we've seen this so many times, and James Gunn's been around and doing this for a long time. He's seen what does and doesn't work, and he's seen this exact thing and this exact approach not work and not bring in the male audience, which is what it needs. And I don't think that the female audience is going to be the ones to show up in droves for this thing. So it's like, what did he think was going to be the end result?
Hubris.
Right,
Sheer
I guess.
Fucking hubris.
Yeah. It's like he's going out of his way to not give the target audience what the target audience wants.
Exactly.
I don't understand that process. Okay, like this character seems extraordinarily narcissistic, and it seems like this whole thing is about not being a hero, but what it means to be a woman. In this crazy male-centered world. Like that's basically what I'm getting out of this. From the marketing, from everything, she even says it. There's no man in this, and I'm not going to fall in love, and there's no romance. And I'm like, if you wanted to get some women in there, you might actually want to have a strong male figure that she falls in love with, because women love romances. Guys, yeah, that might work for guys, but at the same time, we're not interested in this character. Nobody cares about Supergirl. She's a third, fourth tier character.
It's Superman.
I just don't understand the way he's built this universe out. It's really bad.
Look at the way they're marketing it. This is Millie Alcock. This is actually kind of impressive. Let's check out this short video clip.
She's playing with her Woody.
It's her on top of a. Well, you'll see. Look at that.
Hey, what's she doing, Badger?
Huh? She probably plays with her buzz.
Yeah,
if I'm honest.
look at that. That's great.
Maybe both.
Yeah, she literally just sat over there and just sprayed it once.
Is that
right?
I mean, I don't know. Is it real?
She's a rebel.
Are we supposed to believe she painted that? Is that what
Right.
Tom Cruise.
Have you seen the clips that have been coming out? Let's check out one really quick here.
Oh God!
Wait, no, come on. These are clips. These are clips. We want to check. Give this movie a chance.
Can we address this one just real quick?
Why?
This is funny and all that. That being said, we have no place to talk. She came out talking about our ownership over her body and all the shit like that. This is kind of proving her fucking point. It's funny, keep doing it, but also it's a good thing she's not looking at this.
One more clip. One more
the
clip.
face.
Here. Real quick.
When the world looks to the sky, hope returns.
Oh no.
A new hero will rise.
All right. Well,
this is toxic, right, Robert?
What it is.
Toxic? I don't know. I mean, I
Poor
think
taste.
it's I think that a girl like Millie Alcott already engendered herself. We trusted her in House of the Dragon season 1. She certainly earned her place. And, on one hand, it denigrates our position as critics to do things like that. I mean, if we want to be taken seriously as critics of media, which I think we all are, to make fun of a woman's looks,
I think it's really low-hanging fruit.
I'm just saying. I mean, if we were like, we are here, we are expected. You can't have it both ways. We either want to expect to be considered serious critics of media, and by the way, media does need serious criticism. Corporate media and all the crap that's being driven down our throats. But somebody who was already established herself in House of the Dragon and handled herself with aplomb in that show. She was amazing. And now she's been given a chance to break free. To compare, let me tell you something. The actor that played Chaka stole my day planner in a comic book store in Burbank.
The real actor?
Yes. So fuck that guy. And
That's
anybody
where this is coming from.
Anybody who that's a true story, by the way. As a matter of fact, I was gonna start a band called Chaka Stole My Day Planner. But no, I do think
So your team Slee Stack, is that what you're saying?
I'm Team Enoch, the Slee Stack from the future.
Well, here's James Gunn talking about the character. This is my problem with the movie. I don't have a problem with Millie Alcock at all. I think those comparisons are based on one really bad still. The Chaka.
Maybe one or two really bad stills, but yeah, they're not flat.
What I'm just saying, Millie Alcock, beautiful woman. You know, it's whatever, but it's the interpretation of the character she's made to play, I think, is the problem. Here's Gunn talking about it.
The character Supergirl often gets pigeonholed to being this milquetoast reflection of Superman.
I think she challenges that throughout this film.
Hi, just wanted to touch base about when you think you might be coming back.
It was exciting to have Supergirl as not your usual hero.
It's not too late to not be a jerk.
There's an altruism to Superman. He's got an incredible moral compass.
No one's ever asked her what her code is.
You ready? It's very impressive.
Was Superman like you? Grumpy? Rude?
You think I'm rude?
There's a big contrast there between these things that she's witnessed
What was it like to lose everything in a day?
and the brightly colored suit.
I know it's pretty colorful. That's just so everyone knows we're good.
It's a really important film for people who feel like, well, they're not strong enough. Kara's journey throughout is such a life-changing experience. I think all of us can relate to that. Anyone can be Supergirl.
All right.
If anyone can be Supergirl, then she's not special.
Yeah. Well, that's
If
okay.
everyone's super.
She has been milquetoast for decades. She was milquetoast originally because they made her as just a fucking female Superman. But she's been quite layered with different interpretations for a long time now.
Is this the story that they think is going to make, $500 million? Is this the story, the idea that it's going to have women come to see this movie in droves?
Maybe.
It just
Like
feels like
it's an important
miscalculation
story.
here.
It's not an entertaining story. It's an important story.
Yeah, but
It's for
but
people
again,
to learn lessons and all that. And I'm like,
people flock to important stories, but
are they going to flock to an important superhero story when we're like, how many years into the superhero genre, and now you just want to tell important stories? This is kind of I'm sorry, this is lame. Nobody wants this. People want heroes. People want to feel good about going to a movie and seeing heroic, heroes doing heroic things. That's what people want right now. And they're trying to make something that's quote unquote important. I think this is a bad move on James Gunn's part. I think the universe, when you're just getting started, you need to excite people. You need to bring people in, and he wants to make something that's important. And this isn't feeling important to me. It feels the opposite of that. It doesn't feel like it's just building the universe. It's not doing anything special. And I think this is just going to flop, and James Gunn is going to be James Dunn. I think he's out of
meet Ruth.
Quite frankly, this movie should be the first act of a much bigger Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
Do they think the target audience is women, or are they shooting for both men and women? Or
I think they want women to watch this. This is
one last one here, just until.
Oh my God.
Who is making all these?
I hate myself for laughing at this.
Yes. Yeah, you're in trouble. I just want to address the chat who's saying that we're clutching our pearls. I was one of the first people to say she looked like the feral kid from Mad Max. That being said, Robert's right. It kind of takes away any of our ability to be like, well, we're just it's funny, but
right.
It's low hanging fruit for sure.
I mean, I don't want to be a
Clearly
funny
gorgeous.
Were these
She's
plot
clearly
points
gorgeous.
written in your day planner? Is that what happened?
That's actually a true story. It happened at it's very true. And yeah, this is my way of getting back at him.
Well, there you go.
And I loved Land of the Lost.
Same.
I did. I
Loved it.
Land of the Lost is actually the people that wrote that show, were a lot of them, including David Gerald, were involved with the original Star Trek.
And the stop motion was fun, and the stop motion mixed with some bad puppetry.
Was
but
it Sid and Marty
it's
Krofft
okay.
too? Or
Yes.
am I mistaken?
Yeah. The Slee Stack were all college basketball players.
I mean, it was
great.
those, and they were terrifying.
It was great. But if you look, I think DA, I saw one of your late night streams. You were looking at ticket sales. It's bad at the prime times this weekend and on Thursday. It is not good. They're doing Wednesday preview screenings, so you get to see it fan access one day before. Those aren't packed, and those tickets are readily available, plentiful, I would say.
Yeah.
So
it's not good. It's not good. And one of my guests that came in and said, "Yeah, I just bought a ticket last week for the fan screening," and I was like, "You saw how fast it sold out for Spider-Man? Like Spider-Man, if you weren't in day one, you're watching it weekend two."
Yeah, they're sold out through the weekend. Actually,
Yeah.
you know, spotty here and there, first three rows. But Supergirl, plentiful. And why do you think that is? I mean, we're not, obviously none of us have seen the movie yet. The early reaction is very mixed, even from people that usually praise these kinds of things. So I'm just saying, from what I've seen, from everything, how the film is marketed, I think what they're doing is this type of girl boss character is the same character in every movie, and that is boring, because then we know exactly what's going to happen. Everything is predictable based on the identity and their approach. There's no surprise. And also, I saw a film, so two films that kind of relate to my point real quick. I saw a movie called Lucky Strike, a war movie directed by Rod Lurie, that is like an earnest war movie, like the kind I grew up watching as a kid. And then I saw a movie called Citizen Vigilante, which is like a very earnest death wish movie from the 70s, but they know what they are. And maybe we don't want a complex deconstruction of a superhero now in the dark times that we currently live in. And I mean, you know, not talking about the news, but there have been a lot of dark things that have come out in the news the last just week. Okay, we could use a hero we could look up to that's not complicated, that good and evil are black and white, and it's very simple. And I'm saying that between Lucky Strike, very earnest, and Citizen Vigilante, earnest for its genre, you know, revenge thriller action film, like, I don't think people don't want the deconstruction.
Yeah, and I want Supergirl's niche. She's a niche character. Even if it, at its best interpretation, it still is just not as popular because people want Superman. Same way Batgirl would not have done Insane, even if it was really great, because people want Batman. It's always going to be. This is, to a lesser extent, unfortunately, separate but same, what He-Man went up against. Like, it's great, but it's also a fucking niche property that's like decades old.
Yes,
it doesn't have the
100%.
same, like, it just is what it is. Some of these movies are never going to be what they want them to be.
The Furiosa movie, I say to you, I thought was very good. I thought the Mad Max Fury was very good. However, the marketing of it and our anticipation based on everything else we've seen was, it's going to be this kind of movie. I don't want that movie. And it bombed. And this is already, already set to bomb. I'm just
I hate to say this, but what's the appetite right now for female-led action movies? What's the appetite? Are people hungering for these? If you have a female, we saw that with Ballerina, which I thought was a great movie.
I
Love
enjoyed it.
Ballerina.
Yeah.
Flopped. All right. Same thing with Furiosa. Flopped. All right. We had two really good lead actresses. They did a great job. I thought the movies were great. Flopped because I think people just don't want to see female action heroes right now, or there's not a strong appetite for it. And so if you're going to make it, you better make it for like $25-30 million and, you know, dumb it down. But if you try to really go all out, you know, because Furiosa, they spent $70 million on that one, and it barely made that, you know, in the box office. So it flopped. Ballerina flopped. You're going to have to really like think very carefully about making a female-led action movie going forward. I don't think people really care about those right now. And maybe it's because of what you said, Chris, that we've seen it all before and they're really not doing anything interesting with it.
Right.
Well, what happened to the old
what
happened to the old macho movies where it was like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger? You know, you know, I just feel like, you know, you're not allowed to make those kind of movies anymore because you can't have, you know, roided out male heroes anymore.
That's toxic.
And, the feeling I have is maybe we bring those back. Maybe
and Lobo in this feels like they're now, and we haven't even mentioned him. I've been seeing a bunch of marketing, and they're marketing the movie borderline like it's a Lobo movie because I think they're realizing that people are like, I don't want to see this shit, and so they're like, hey, but like Lobo's cool though. Remember him? He's a gruff guy.
And Superman's in it. They're marketing Lobo and Superman like they're main characters in this movie right now, and they're not.
Yep.
But the thing is, I like Jason Momoa, but they're even then, let's say you want to make him the macho hero, they still are making him somewhat androgynous, somewhat of a cross-dresser here and there, and it's like, you know, I don't think we want that either.
I mean, do y'all think the problem is that, like you mentioned, Furiosa and Ballerina? I mean, those are spin-offs essentially. I mean, those are from. If you were doing a Mad Max-centered story with, you know, Furiosa in it, you think that would have been better? Or like Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Widow plays a significant part of the narrative, but that was, of course, done really well. But they didn't do a Black Widow movie, and well, we saw what they did with the Black Widow movie later. But you can have, if you're gonna, I'm sorry, I don't know. I think that's the issue. It's like they're trying to make a supporting character the main character, and it's just they're trying to force it in that way, when I think the better formula that's proven to work is have them a part of the main character's narrative, and
with no build up. Like Supergirl she shows up at the end of the last movie, and now she's got her own movie. You know, like at least like you could say like with Black Panther, he was a part of Civil War, and they kind of introduced you to the character, and then he gets his own movie. If they made Supergirl a part of the film where we can enjoy the character, really get to know the character for, you know, maybe not just one movie, but maybe several movies like they did with Black Widow, then, you know, now we can make a Supergirl movie because we've built this character up. You like her, you know, the good, the bad, the whatever, you know, like, you know, the character now because like Badger says, she's super niche. Not that many people know about Supergirl, even though there was a Supergirl TV show. A lot of people are just like, whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to see this. You know, because she's just not that important of a hero.
Yep.
I'm surprised we're not getting a crypto movie, actually. Just call it crypto.
We've got one. We're about to get another one.
We've got two crypto movies.
This is a crypto movie.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go for comments.
I also think that, like, I think that in the wake of the Me Too era, if you're going with female superheroes, they can't be sexy, and they have to have male characteristics in regards to like their attitude and how they carry themselves and how they speak to people, and that just doesn't resonate with women or
and it
men,
has to have a
honestly.
feminist message, which was what
and have a feminist messaging. So they would have to
this
do
has
away
all
with
of that.
all of that and make something in the realm of Wonder Woman. I mean, Gal Gadot is beautiful in that movie. She's gorgeous.
She didn't shy away from it. She was strong, but also feminine, and didn't emasculate.
You would have to go. You'd have to go. She didn't emasculate anybody in that movie. You'd have to go back to something like that, and they really don't want to.
Well, think about the introduction of Black Widow. She was pretty sexualized.
Yeah,
you know, they made her pretty hot and pretty sexy.
Even Supergirl in that Flash movie, the one that Gunn said was one of the best ones ever. She's hot. All she cares about is Kal-El and that he's been killed, and she just wants for like. It's really not hard to do.
Yeah.
We have a lot of comments from people. Let's get to the comments, and I have more news stories and something fun. I have a homework assignment for everyone here.
Ooh, homework. Pilgrim Media for 2. Yes. No.
Thanks.
Security G for 10. In regards to Toy Story Part 5, never underestimate the power of marketing. The masses and mediocrity.
Yep.
J.D. Watkins.
Oh, thanks.
Axel's a boat member for 22 months. Why go there and change the family on the ranch?
Because they grew up and moved away,
Yeah.
like in real life.
Not another name for 5. Can we just appreciate that Uwe Boll finally made a good mover after all these years, and getting banned in Germany is actually a Medal of Honor?
Yeah, it's fun to see that movie blow up. People are reviewing it and discussing it. It's not groundbreaking at all. It's an exploitation movie of a sort, like a Death Wish or Dirty Harry.
But
It's
the timing might be really good.
Because what exactly it addresses, that's the thing that makes it noteworthy.
Very prescient timing. Spade for $9.99. I think if they didn't push DEI in every movie, Lupita could have pulled off Helen of Troy. She is she is beautiful, but all these different actors killed it.
Yeah, I have less of a problem with it. I know that's a hot button thing, but I think we need to wait and see the movie. I really want to see the movie first before commenting.
Right. The same thing done for 2 different reasons is the difference between funny and woke. Buzz Lightyear in a dress at a tea party in an earlier movie where it's just done he's the straight guy. I don't mean straight like straight, but like serious guy that you're making fun of. Very classical. It's fine. But in this one, for propaganda, if you want to do it the same thing, 2 different reasons, depends on intention. 200-watt studio for 2. Uwe Boll just tweeted, it's his birthday today. Oh,
shout out and a happy birthday to Uwe Boll.
Awesome.
Uwe Boll, happy birthday.
The Brawler, member for 7 months. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick. Who'd be a better Supergirl recast?
Oh, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
She would be great. I mean, have you seen that going around? Someone did Sydney Sweeney as Supergirl. It changes the entire thing.
Power Girl, certainly.
Yeah. I think the suit would be too tight on her.
Well, you cut a boob window.
Yeah.
Jan Hugh for 5. Gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Thanks, Sean Hugh.
200-watt studio for 5. Christopher Reeve's film was made in a Watergate era where we had no heroes but wanted them. It was optimistic and he was selfless. This looks selfish.
Yeah, and I'm saying we're probably going through a similar era like the 70s where all the news is so dark, our world is so depressing. There's a lot of change in the air on a lot of levels. Economy is not great for everyone, and having that sort of optimistic, simple, inspiring story, a Superman, a Star Wars, they became big at that time because in contrast to a lot of movies that were dark, like your Godfathers, Taxi Driver, among others. I don't know, Rob, you probably have some perspective on that.
Well, I mean, I think that it's a really great observation about where Superman, the original Superman, was coming from. But I think we always have lived in a tumultuous time, and history is constantly churning and moving forward. I think one of the things about the era that we're living through now is it's a time where truth and reality are obfuscated everywhere. Yeah. That the reality of what's actually going on at any one time with individual relationships, with our government, with the entire universe is being obscured on purpose because nobody wants to deal with the truth on any level. And I think in that, with that idea in mind, our heroes, it used to be, yes, we need a hero to step up. I mean, Christopher Reeve was certainly somebody who represented truth, justice, and the American way. Well, we don't even know what truth or justice is anymore. So the character of Superman or Supergirl, if they're going to bring back those kinds of things to us, we have to figure out a way to come back to the fact that there is truth and there is justice. And we have to know what those things are.
Yeah, well, I think there's a prevailing feeling that there isn't a lot of justice or even truth or election integrity in our world, or at least in California.
I think that there's more truth, though, and more justice around the world than we're willing to admit now. It's too easy to say that there is no truth, or there's only my truth, or your truth. Everybody gets truth. It's like being on Oprah. We get your truth, we get your truth, and you get your truth. Fuck all that. There's one truth. And like, let's begin with gravity. Gravity's only a theory. Is it? Jump off that building. I'm tired. I'm tired of all this untruth that we're surrounded by, and I think that's where we're going to get our heroes from at least for this day and age. We need heroes that don't just fight for the users, that fight for the truth and the justice that we ourselves have failed to recognize.
Yeah, you know who believes in the truth? It's people who have no desire to be involved in politics whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, I think people who make things, whether you're a woodworker, whether you're a filmmaker, whether you're an artist, whether you're working with ceramics, whether you're trying to build a company, people that make things understand truths because they're trying to make something that's tangible. Even a company has to be tangible. And I think a lot of the problem is we've moved away from a civilization that makes stuff, and then the people that actually do make things we resent or don't believe because we don't think their intentions are truthful, which is weird.
Yeah, someone said that we're divided into two people, the makers and the takers. The makers are the ones who innovate and build things. The takers are the politicians who want their piece of it.
And everybody that wants communism and socialism.
It sounds like a bunch of commie gobbledygook.
Yeah,
it is.
Panoiaker for $4.99. The Dark Knight trilogy era really was the peak of DC on film. It's been all downhill since. I don't get how they keep messing it up. A DCU should be great.
Yeah.
DCU should be
Should be
great.
simple. Thank you for that.
Graph Web for 2. Oh. In the name of all that is holy, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Yes.
Thanks, Graph Web.
So dedicated. 200-watt studio for 2. Studio system trained actors in promotion. They need to be stopped.
Yeah, there could be some media training for some of these people.
I don't understand.
Millie Alcock has had media training. She talked about it.
That's what I'm saying is you got to get the right media training.
Yeah.
I think
who
everything
trained them?
Millie has said, they're fully on board with,
Yeah.
and we should say more.
Barry the Music Man for 2. Best thing Supergirl ever did was die in the 80s.
That was in Crisis, right? Crisis on Infinite Earths.
In the 80s?
In the 80s.
Yeah, Infinite. Sebrew 1138 member for 1 month. Badger is no longer Cali straight. He's just a straight for Millie. Badger will see the movie 4 times like He-Man, 3 times. I tried to see it the 4th time, but it wasn't in the big screen, and I'm a size queen. I can't do that standard screen anymore.
Badger, did you like He-Man?
I fucking loved it.
I loved it too.
It's
I
great.
know. Well, that's
It's
not going to
great.
help my argument, but yeah, no, I loved it too. I loved it too. You missed a hell of a fight here when Tom was on. Yeah, no, I loved it. Hope it gets a sequel.
I enjoyed it too.
Same.
Look at that.
John Wayne, 1985 for 10. Millie was absolutely the wrong casting. In Supergirl and in real life, she comes off as lazy to the point of being unmotivated to take daily showers. Smelly pigeon lady with stringy, unkept hair and bird droppings. Wow.
Man.
Let me defend her for a second. She has never uttered the words "Free Palestine," so I give her a pass.
Small miracles.
Okay.
Lucky Ocho member for 16 months. DC can't catch a break. First Zack Snyder, then James Gunn. Paramount needs to cancel this franchise already and start fresh again. Dr. Fauci's pardon prison butt for 5. Anyone ever think that SG Stargate is going to flop because Supergirl is going to Elaine is going to flop because she's a cosplay character for only fangirls that no one could care less about. Now, if Vivid made it,
Or Axel Braun. for that matter, as the director. Yes.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Men want nothing to do with radical feminists.
Facts.
True.
Uwe and R&B share a birthday. Who knew? Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Robert shares a birthday with everyone. Big Disc Energy became a member. Shout out. 20 Watt Studio for 5. We are in peak consumerism. Look at all the storage facilities we have now.
Yep. I used to have one. Used to have
Jake
one.
Tamman for 199. Guys, just finished writing a book, and I'm looking to publish. Any advice? I'm trying to pursue writing as a career.
Well, I mean, you can go the self-published route through Amazon. There are a lot of print on demand.
Yep,
and that's one way.
Drinker
to
has
go.
like a whole video on this on how to become an author. And
Yeah. You do have to be careful because of the rights stuff. I know people have had issues with Amazon and some of these other companies. So be careful when you do publish it wherever you decide to do it.
Yeah, print on demand. That's the way to go.
Big Disc Energy for 199. Any thoughts on the Kubrick box set from Criterion?
Oh my God, it's given me a more than Viagra. Never mind. I mean, I can't wait.
Rejuvenation.
Was this just announced
today?
Oh, wow.
They've been teasing it. It's it's incredible. There's even the European version of The Shining on it in 4K. I can't wait.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Giving Rob a Cinneboner.
It is a Cinneboner. It's pretty good at my age. I've never had that problem, but this this at least gets me at a little bit above 45 degrees, if you know what I'm saying.
There you go. There you go.
$500. That's what the chat is saying.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, but it goes on. The Criterion sale starts at Barnes and Noble. The question is, will it be up for sale at half price?
We'll see. Hey, the Odyssey IMAX popcorn bucket sold out twice. It's sold out. This is Chris Nolan actually debuting the bucket. He's presenting it to, I guess, his cinematographer. So let's take a look.
So, Hoyt, I got to show this to you. This is the popcorn bucket.
I want it so bad.
How cool is that? That's amazing. And have a look. You look through the iPad.
The viewfinder works.
That's pretty cool.
Well, it's got a picture in it.
What? Which friend? Did you have a look?
A bit further back.
It's his Woody.
It's so crazy.
I seriously going to.
Oh, okay.
So, Hoyt, I got
It's
to
like
show
a
this.
Viewmaster.
They have released it on the IMAX website twice. 2 runs sold out. It will be actually available when you go to theaters to see the Odyssey. But I thought this was fun. Here's your homework. If you go to faceyourfate.app, that's faceyourfate.app, you can turn your likeness into a bust. An old, and I did it for myself. And I gotta say, I look pretty damn good. Look at this. Okay, so you have to go to the website, and here's me.
Hey,
Oh, nice.
Look
Look at him.
This is Maximus.
Not
Wow.
bad. I want to see when we do the Odyssey. I want to see all of us get our busts.
Chris Gorikis.
I know.
Yeah. Chris Gorikis. I think it's fun. So everybody, I'll put in the private chat the website, and go to it, and then make that. You can upload a picture or take a photo. I want to see what Alan looks like.
Yeah, I just got my Cinneboner. There's my.
Oh, look, there he is.
Is that you? That's just, you can use that picture. All right. Just something fun. All right. Another news story here. Can we make the villain a white guy? I think maybe it's gotten kind of cliche to have the white guy is the villain. I personally don't really care about it, but it gets boring. It really does get kind of boring. There's an article about this. I think you have notes for this, Badger, and it came from Hollywood Gadfly is the Substack where this is. Do you have notes for this?
Yeah. Can we make the villain a white guy? I do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'll go to the story.
A great drama depends on uncertainty, and modern Hollywood storytelling has become increasingly predictable because writers and executives are often reluctant to give certain characters the same moral range as others. Stories work because audiences are constantly guessing what will happen next. And one of my screenwriting teachers put it, 2 dogs, 1 bone. The protagonist and antagonist are fighting over something only one of them can have, and the audience is engaged because they don't know how that conflict will be resolved. As I write, drama is anticipation mingled with uncertainty. Modern Hollywood has created a tension between dynamic or dramatic storytelling and progressive identity politics. In my view, drama requires uncertainty. Progressive ideology rewards certainty. I contend that many writers have become cautious about portraying minority characters as villains, traitors, or morally compromised figures out of fear that such portrayals will be interpreted as statements about entire groups rather than individuals. As a result, certain characters retain a full moral range, while others gradually become protected from it. Hollywood's increasing aversion to controversy has made films and television more risk-averse overall. Festivals, studios, and development executives have become more focused on avoiding offense than encouraging provocative storytelling. As I put it, art that regurgitates progressive pieties to the audience like a mother bird to its chicks is inherently predictable and boring. Audiences want stories filled with contradiction, moral complexity, and surprise. Regardless of identity, characters should be allowed to be good, evil, brave, selfish, noble, or corrupt. Stories are most engaging when viewers genuinely don't know where characters will end up. Otherwise, people are going to keep changing the channel.
Well, what do you guys think? I think, look, I could care less if the bad guy is a white guy. I think the problem is identity politics has made storytelling predictable. It's made it predictable. And that, I think, is the point. It's, you know who the bad guys are, you know who the bad guys won't be, and what their outcome will be in the story. And that's I think the
Did you guys watch Punisher? The last Punisher one shot, the hour long?
Yeah.
Okay. It's in no reality are there a bunch of white people terrorizing black neighborhoods in New York. Now I get it's a fictional version of New York, but that's one of those things. It's like, oh no, they have no problem making white guys, even if it's completely not like reflective of reality.
Yeah, it's.
Well, I think it begs the question
because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alan.
No, it begs the question: when was the last time you saw a significant movie where the bad guy wasn't a white guy?
Citizen
Vigilante. That was last weekend.
That's it.
But before that,
Look, man, black people ain't walking around feeling butthurt because somebody made a black character the villain in a movie. I don't know who they're doing this for. It's for themselves. It's the only people I can see that would benefit from this is that Hollywood doesn't want to look like the bad guys by making black people the bad guys. So we're going to make white people the bad guys. It's stupid. It's stupid. We don't care. All right. Black people don't care. I don't think anybody cares. It's just Hollywood cares. And that's the reason why they cast the way they cast, because they think somehow that's going to, I don't know, heal the world or whatever. It's one of the dumbest things. I hate racial casting of any type, unless it's germane to the story and the characters and all of that. And the fact that, we can't cast any black people, as a villain. That's just stupidity.
Black Panther didn't count.
I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and say that it's social conditioning.
Black Panther didn't count because Killmonger wasn't a villain. He was a sympathetic one who wanted to reclaim his people.
Kingsman. Someone brought up Kingsman.
I really think it's social conditioning to have you think that white people are the enemy. White men are bad. Yeah. They're the enemy. They are the evil ones in society, and the people that you can trust are all the minorities and all that. It's just I think it's propaganda via Hollywood. Honestly,
how do you think that Avengers Kang Dynasty would have played out with effectively a black villain? How do you think that would have played out? And do you think part of the reason, was like, what's his name? Jonathan Majors. He had his, drama, whatever. He was exonerated. Okay. They still didn't hire him back. Nope. They still did not hire him back.
Because it wasn't working before that incident. They knew it.
I just think it was not. You're right, Badger. It was not working. But how do you think that would have played out? Would he have become sympathetic? I think in some ways Thanos is sympathetic.
Well, they're already making him sympathetic a little bit. They were already kind of doing that with him in Loki. They were kind of, softening him up a little bit. So, yeah, it's bad. Hey, Chris, I got to drop, man.
Okay.
I'll see you guys next time.
All right. Take care, Derek.
See you, buddy.
You're getting a white guy as the villain in Supergirl, Crim of the Yellow Hills, who, if you actually read the comic, he's literally just a white dude with red hair. And in this one, they added the tattoos and the scarification and Sith yellow eyes and all this other shit, but he's just a white guy. at the end of the day. So it's the reverse. It seems to be the issue. Even High Evolutionary, that's a decent example. He was just a straight up villain.
He's a ginger, and they didn't race swap him.
Right.
Yeah. No kidding.
It's interesting. The first time it was like, oh my god, this is a thing where they're making white guys the enemy. It was the sum of all fears. Because if you read the book, the villains were basically Islamic terrorists, and then they switched it over to white German, white supremacists, and because they, just after 9/11, it has to be the white guy now, and it just seemed from then on it was always the white guy, always the white guy.
Let me just share a little more further in this article.
Electro and Spider-Man was sympathetic too.
There's actually this. I mean, I like Venn diagrams, but this one really takes the cake. Intersectionality with regard to race, ethnicity, gender identity, class, language, religion, ability, sexuality, mental health, age, education, body size, and many, many more. Is this where Hollywood, where the castings of, look, we have the new Harry Potter series coming up. And while some casting where they race swap, it's like, oh, I can see that work because that actor is a really good actor. But I think, I don't know. When it changes the story, this could become a problem. What are your guys' thoughts?
I look at that and I want to tell everybody happy Pride.
I want to say other things.
Yeah, it's so glaring. My wife was watching a show the other day, and it was another white guy was the villain, and he was being chased running across a building top by this like 5 foot tall black girl who was the good person. He runs, jumps across the building, doesn't make it. Right? He's like 6 foot tall, big dude. Gets climbed, barely makes it up to the top of the building. The woman that's chasing him, that's 5 foot tall and is like the good guy, jumps like 10 feet past what he didn't make.
Well.
And you're just like, and it's like we were saying, the predictability, the casting doesn't work. It was like if it was another dude, like a big buff giant dude jumping across it might have made sense. But it's like if that was how it was written. But the casting, all of it just doesn't work, and it becomes predictable. Where I saw it coming, hadn't even seen the scene yet, and I was like, she's about to clear that whole freaking gap in that building, and she did. And it's to the point now where everything we watch, it's like a play-by-play thing where you know what's going to happen because they're doing it in everything. And I think it's just becoming lame.
Yeah, that's my argument. It makes storytelling predictable and boring. I honestly don't care who the villain is, but when it's always the same, it's just made things boring. Any other thoughts on this?
Well, if white guys are the villains, they have to have British accents. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. 100%.
I mean, come on, Hans Gruber, Grand Moff Tarkin. I mean, all the great Brits.
I aspire to get back to where we were of like the Demolition time period of just Wesley Snipes playing just like essentially the Joker to Sylvester Stallone's Batman. Like just be a fun villain that knows he's bad.
Nobody said that they didn't like him. Everyone loved Wesley Snipes.
Everyone loves him.
Right.
It's commonly brought up all the time. Yeah.
And you love him when he's in Passenger 57 and says, always bet on black.
Because it's of itself. It's supposed to be there. It's not done for any other reason than it fit the. But yeah, now it's forced.
Should HR be involved in creative decisions like this?
That's the big point. This is really an HR. It's like the HR department overlooking your production and saying you can do this, you can't do that. And some are more aggressive than others, and some filmmakers push back and others don't. I mean, Elaine, as well as I do, that Denis Villeneuve was given a choice, and he said you have to take a major character and race swap them, and he chose Dr. Leah
Kynes.
Yeah, which
Chani's father.
Yeah.
Right. So
that changed.
Chinese doctor.
It could happen.
And they made it sound as what John Spates is the one that was co-writing Dune, and he said that because of the character, it was because of the messages around ecology that it felt natural for those to be coming from a woman. but I never got that really in Doom Part 1. They never really delved into that part of the story, so it seems much more likely that this was just done to appease HR or to appease the check the boxes that are necessary. And honestly, I liked Sharon Duncan Brewster's performance, and she seemed to understand the character, but she could have been used elsewhere to much more great effect, and it just kind of watered down ultimately the themes that, I mean, if you don't really have a good creative reason to do something, which clearly they didn't, because the reasons they gave did not come across at all in the ultimate story in the film. So, and it just came across as just, no, you just did this to appease the suits.
The gods of diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it happens so often. That's why I think there's pushback for the Odyssey. The Odyssey is pushing back on its race swap, Helen of Troy, because it's been a culmination of these ones where it's like, okay, fine. Like, how many times are people just going to brush it off? And, I don't know.
Ultimately, you are doing a disservice to the very group of people you are reportedly trying to progress forward, because like when Michael Clark Duncan was cast as Kingpin back in the day, I did not go fucking D because it didn't exist. I guess I guess no one else was available. He's the best person for the job. Now we don't think that.
And also Dune had one of the most diverse casts anyways.
Yeah.
Like, even if you hadn't done that, everyone is very different, and it made sense for the universe that it is in 20,000 years into the future. There's this kind of melting pot anyways, so no one really bat an eye if Liette was black or anything, or others. But why do you have to go the step further to try to make waves like that just ultimately end up being shallow in your usage of it? If there's no good creative reason for it, well, that is very we see that it's very obvious. And even in Doom Part 2, Shishakli was the character that simply hands Paul his maker hooks during the test, a sandworm ride, gets this huge arc, and it's obviously gender swapped as well, and is Zendaya's best friend. But we have that, and then we have the elimination of Thufir Hawat.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, they cast a great actor to play him.
Yeah, and they shot it.
Actor.
They
Black
shot
actor.
And cut him out of Dune Part 2.
Yeah, he was going through a health crisis. He filmed scenes with Austin Butler. It pains me that the art suffers ultimately from.
That's the real question. Can you imagine if someone came and said to Tarantino, Marcellus Wallace can't be a black guy?
Clearly, there has to be a happy middle ground between John Wayne playing Genghis Khan and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying we didn't have work to do, but
nice
also,
reference.
Thank you. This is the most extreme one I could think of, but yeah.
Or Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh my God, it's one of the worst ever.
Worst
anyways.
what?
Race. Well,
are you insulting my Uncle Mickey?
Mickey Rooney. It was so bad. I cringed as a kid watching that.
I thought it was so
bad.
Well, and there were already so many great Asian actors working in Hollywood that could have played that role.
100%. In a related story, let's check this out. Hollywood's favorite inclusion study creates an outrage loop. This is yet another Substack, and I believe you have the notes for this story, Badger, if you would.
Hollywood diversity studies, particularly those from USC's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative and the UCLA, are asking the wrong questions when it comes to the lack of female blockbuster directors. These studies focus on simple head counts and outcomes, such as how many women directed the top 100 films each year, rather than studying the actual process of how directors reach that level. Studies like the Annenberg assume that unequal outcomes automatically mean discrimination, and that all filmmakers aspire to direct blockbusters. Many female filmmakers may pursue independent or artistic careers instead, making the top 100 box office list an imperfect measure of success. A major criticism is that Annenberg treats the film festivals like Sundance, television, and Netflix as a pipeline leading to blockbuster filmmaking, even though there's little evidence these are sequential steps. The careers of successful female directors, such as Greta Gerwig and Chloe Zhao, follow different paths, suggesting there is no single pipeline. Ultimately, Hollywood diversity research has created an Ouroboros, or self-perpetuating cycle. 1. A study releases statistics showing underrepresentation. 2. Headlines and industry outrage follow. 3. New programs and initiatives are created. 4. Little changes because the underlying causes were never identified. And 5. Another study is released and the cycle repeats. These studies measure who reaches the top, but not how they get there. Until researchers examine the actual career pipeline and identify where women are being filtered out, they cannot determine why there are so few female blockbuster directors or how to increase that number. This does not mean discrimination is absent, only that current research is incapable of proving its role or prescribing effective solutions.
Well, let's talk about it. We're never going to have a completely perfect box of crayons.
Where's female James Cameron?
With everyone represented. It just, I think, honestly, having been around since a long time, decades, covering entertainment, certain types of people are attracted to certain jobs. That is just the way it is. I think when it comes to hair, makeup, it's mostly women and gay men. Sorry to say, when it comes to publicists, it's mostly women and gay men in that. And then also, I just think that's the way it is. I don't know. Is that a crazy thing? Do we have to force
It's
people?
verifiably proven by country data. The more egalitarian, the more different the things are between genders. Men are interested in things and women are interested in people. It's just broadly speaking how it is. That's why you see more teachers and doctors, nurses be women, and guys be fucking mechanics. And it's not just the physical part. It's just that we're interested. Toys, gear porn. We like that.
And I just think, look, there are more men, I hate to say, that are like more interested in being a director. That's a role that they're more interested in. That's why there are more male directors, not because of no opportunities being given. I get press releases several times a week about some program for female direct. They are pushing so much, and it's even there's a sigh of relief when if they can just find a way to hire more in a certain category, like they'll do that. But what I'm saying is certain people like certain types of things, and that's okay. I don't know.
And it's even just a skill set thing. Like different types of people are, whether it be race, gender, whatever, are just skilled in certain directions. And that's like a statistical fact. It's like looking at the NFL and it's 56% of it is black men that are in the NFL because they're better at it, right? So it's like if you're looking at these other jobs, it's like maybe the skill set is just catered in a certain direction due to other factors that we are refusing to acknowledge.
Well, also, women are
Culture,
pragmatists. Women are too smart to get involved in Hollywood, which is a horrible, awful place to go. And it's like if you look at something, for instance, this is a terrifying thing to me, but women now dominate the field of genre, science fiction, and fantasy literature. Men aren't reading anymore, and men aren't writing traditional genre fiction. It's completely dominated by women because women are reading. Women's imaginations are fired up. And all of the old school men that dominated science fiction and fantasy writing have almost been completely swept away, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. What I think is the bad thing is that men aren't reading anymore because people like Andrew Tate have said, I don't own a book. Well, F you, Andrew.
Did he really say that? That's
yes,
kind of ironic.
He did really say that. And, the thing is, when it comes to making movies are so pie in the sky, fantasy. The idea that you're going to make a film and it's going to get somewhere. As I said, women are too smart to engage in that folly. I mean, the funny thing is no one's keeping anybody out of any shape, size, color, and creed. But to make a film is to commit to something that might lead nowhere. And that requires dreamers. And there are dreamers of every gender and of every religious persuasion and of every belief system, but making movies is an endlessly difficult. There is no gratification at all when you make a film until perhaps maybe you're part of the 1% whose movie gets seen. And you go to a festival and you get feted by everybody and everyone says how great you are, and then your film doesn't get picked up for distribution and you're left right where you began. It's as if you didn't make another movie.
Oh,
who's keeping out anyone from? Anybody can make a movie. Anybody.
It is, especially an independent movie, there is no barrier to entry.
Zero.
There is zero barrier to entry for an indie film. And even studio movies, they're most of those, you know, the ones that an individual filmmaker approaches a studio, they're independent outside the studio. The studio isn't like a lot of movies, like Chris Nolan, he has a production company. He makes the movie, sells it to the studio. They finance it. Right?
One of the greatest movies of 2026 was directed by a black woman. And that is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
That was great.
And that movie is amazing. And, you know, and she also made another movie, the Hedda movie.
That movie was not so great.
Not so great, but that's what happens. You have two different movies, and nobody went and saw Bone Temple, so it's seen as a failure, even though I'd say it's the most metal thing of the year. And then she makes Hedda, which isn't, but you know what? She's a lifer, man. She started out being a PA on like Spike Lee movies. She has it in her blood since she was a little girl.
Yeah,
that was her calling.
Yeah,
she's the one who did the Marvels, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, if you listen to the Marvels commentary track by her, she really knows her stuff. So
she really knows her stuff. And the Bone Temple shows you she knows her stuff.
You know, the other side of that article is it's basically plain out saying directors aren't special. Anyone can be a director and they're all interchangeable.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I know, but that's the implication of it.
Right.
Did you say that you have to be like a really good project manager? Is that like the same skill sets you'd need for directing?
Well, that's
just very much.
It's just one of the skills. But I think there's so many complexities to being a director. Having met so many directors and filmmakers in my time, I feel like each director kind of has their, like, I like working with director or like actors, or I gravitate more towards tech and camera stuff. I'm more of a writer's director, you know, like, you know, there's so much to being a director. I think when you look at individual directors, they gravitate towards a certain thing. Would you say that, Rob? Also, like, there's like so much to that skill set.
Well, I mean, you can't even I can't even somebody who's I've directed, you know, a feature film that I co-wrote and edited and then produced a number of movies. I can't even explain how many things you have to know, but the most important thing about knowing how to direct a movie is knowing how to communicate with all the other people that are working for you that have incredibly different skill sets than you have. And they're all looking at you to tell them what you want. What do you want this to be? And the thing that I see with a lot of directors, even directors I've worked with that I've been producing, and I'm not talking about Dave Parker, he's awesome, is that a lot of directors get into the positions they get into without knowing what they want.
Yeah.
And the worst thing in the world, and here's advice for any director I can give you. You have half a day to win your crew between 7 o'clock, your call time, and noon when they call lunch, or 12:30. They will know if you're their director or you're going to fight your crew the whole way. And how do you win your crew? By knowing exactly what you want. If you don't know, if you're like, what's the next shot? Let me tell you what the next shot is. Don't ever go, I need 5 minutes to think about it. That's the difference between a great director and a bad director.
Well, and the extra thing is, are you even allowed to direct your own movie? So the only defense I will give of Nia is that very much seemed like we're going to have female stars, female written, female director, blah, blah, blah. But most of the action scenes have already been shot by the fucking second unit. And you don't have actually any autonomy over any choices. And just,
that's very true. That's very
I
true.
almost feel like not to make an analogy to California politics. The directors these days are cast, and in some way, in the state of California, at least, I feel like our elected officials are appointed. They're appointments more than elected.
And that happens to dudes too, of color. Was the directors of and then they got their Batgirl movie canceled, that they basically felt just cast and used by them, and didn't have any autonomy or anything.
And I just feel like women always, or recently, do feel like they are in a lot of different roles in film. Maybe they just gravitate to other jobs because that's what they are specifically passionate about. I know that I probably couldn't handle a project management on a scale like that, and it would probably involve a lot of conflict, which I don't particularly like. So I don't know if I think a lot of people just gravitate to positions that they excel at, and that just happens to be where men are just fulfill directing.
But that's the trick, right? Because you like characters. So you like characters and the interplay between characters and people and feelings and emotions. That's all very women, right? But then you also have to be a taskmaster and deal with creatives who want to override you. So it can't just be one part. It has to be both.
I wish there wasn't as much corporate interests invading the creative process as there seems to be an increasing amount lately. I don't know if that will ever get fixed, but there needs to be that balance. I don't know.
Well, that's why you make an indie film, to have that kind of control. But I also think that part of it is men are more willing to be assholes and don't care what people think about them. And I think women are less interested in being seen as disruptive, or they don't want to, that's just my personal observation,
Yeah.
Well, and my wife do more in editing and other jobs.
Yes. I mean, one of the greatest editors ever to live was Marsha Lucas.
Blaine about to get in trouble. My wife has no problem giving orders.
Thelma Schumacher and Mother Cutter, Verna Fields, who cut Jaws, and Coates, who did Lawrence of Arabia.
Sally, Tarantino's editor. What's her name? Sally. Forget.
Sally Menke.
Yeah.
Right. No, what I was going to say, my wife is a project manager, but she is deeply in that field of people doing that, which is typically mostly a man-led job. She's very good at it, but she's talked about how other women will get into that field and cause a lot of chaos because of the management of these different roles, and worried about relationship management with all of these people, and chaos kind of ensues because they're worried about someone being mad at somebody over here, and it's all of these, like, there's so many moving pieces and parts that women regularly will get held up on. And I could definitely see that translating even in like a director type job, where, as she talks about, where it's like these women will get in and just kind of freak out because they're like worried about maintaining all of these relationships, where a dude will just be like, all right, fuck this guy, we got to get this done, let's go over here and do this. Whereas a woman would handle it totally differently.
It's funny you mentioned that, but in my professional career, the best and worst managers I've ever had were women.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but we don't have any clips of famous actresses blowing up on set. But we got a couple of fucking clips of different people. By the way, Christian Bale was completely correct.
Good for you.
Right. Walking behind my eye line. Yeah.
All right. One last story to end on for today. First time filmmaker makes an AI feature for $2,000. We've got let's see, this was in the California Post. This is made its way around. You've got the notes, Badger. Go for it.
Do I? I didn't think I did. Hold on, let me check it. There was notes.
That's okay. That's okay. I've got the story right. Here's the story from page 6.
Good girl, not nice. Hollywood's inclusion.
We not have the notes for this
the
story.
white guy. Yeah, there's no notes for this one, so I can just read it off of the website if you want.
No, the website, it's we got to keep
good.
I guess we're going to end there. I guess we'll end there. That was
good for him. This is what people need to do. Spend a little bit and you make your movie and you circumvent the whole studio that we were just talking shit about.
We could look at more Supergirl memes if people want to do that, but I just no, we won't do that. Let's go to Soups here as we wrap up.
Mm-hmm. Burnouts for $9.99. Valiant Renegade said that Toy Story 5 being the Jessie movie was deliberate so it could lock the female demographic away from Supergirl and Minions and Monsters. Thoughts?
I don't think it was that calculated.
It's Machiavellian, yeah.
No.
I don't know if it was that calculated, but definitely more.
It will. It
will
take away
for
from
sure.
Supergirl.
I think it's also a better story for young girls too. You know, they're
definitely.
more,
I
young
definitely
girls,
prefer watching Toy Story 5 over Supergirl.
but I mean, young girls are far more affected by social media than boys. In fact, boys have less of an interest in social media. So if this story were to be told using Lily Pad as a character, makes way more sense to have a female child dealing with those conflicts.
I love the Minions though. That trailer looked really fun.
I like the Minions.
They showed us a lot of it at cinema, not a lot of it, but a chunk of it CinemaCon, and it has to do with early Hollywood.
It looks really fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it looks really fun. Thank you, Burnouts. Let's see, Albert.
Albert, not a retro for 10. Hail Steph, High Priestess to the Cult of Spicy, Slayer of She-Hulks, Destroyer of the Coven on the View, Crusher of Trendy Bimbos, Bane of Zegler, Smasher of Lively, and Alcock's Kryptonite. Who's next?
Yeah. Go get him, Steph.
So what do you really think about Steph?
That's a long time.
It's great.
Albert, not a retro for 2. Everyone knows blacks can jump better than whites. Yeah, she's 5 foot, Blaine, but
they made a movie about it.
Yeah.
They made a movie about it.
Great movie, by the way.
It is a good movie.
Dr. Fauci's Pardon, Prison Butt for 5. How to Ruin Hollywood. Spent 15 years hiring 47-year-old wine-drinking, pill-popping Karens, put them in charge of every studio, and say, now go make art.
Yes.
Andrew Cram, member for 29 months.
Wow.
Hello, Chris, Alan, Steph, Badger, Robert, and Blaine.
Hey.
And gifted a film threat membership. Thank you, Andrew. Big supporter.
Albert again for 10. I've got a better late than never review of 2019's Captain Marvel on the posts section of my YouTube channel. I've referenced certain politics, but keep them out of my overall perspective. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Albert.
Andrew Cram for another 10. Hello, Elaine. I didn't mean to skip you. There you go.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks,
Great.
Andrew.
Albert for another 5. Oh my God, will you shut up? Women are too smart. Blah, blah, blah. You sound like that simp clown Ryan Gosling. Never liked you, never will. Jesus, Albert.
All right, Albert.
What are you going to do?
Doge
I'm
pal.
right, though.
Well, I think when in the case of Nia DaCosta, she got done dirty by Marvel. I mean, Bob Iger threw her under the bus with that film. And I think that was a completely different movie. She moved on too. She went to make
She wasn't even involved in post.
She wasn't involved in post. And they look, we have more than a few stories of people working for Marvel and being treated poorly.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And by the way, when I say women are too smart, I mean, I'm also speaking, I'm not trying to curry favor. I'm making a humorous comment that is meant to be taken. I mean, women are more, trust me, in my life, I'm old. Women are more pragmatic than men, usually when dealing with real life. And if you believe that or not, I'll tell you, you'll discover it on your own.
yeah, you've met some women.
Doge Pal for 5. About the D-Files. No, go back to that. Because I think, since Alan, you guys covered this rather extensively. Did Jennifer Lee's 50-50 male-female policy only affect Disney Animation Studios, or did it also affect Pixar? I thought it was the former.
It did affect Pixar, but I believe Pixar was the only studio to actually realize the error of their ways and make corrections.
Start bringing back people that had been
cutting out gay subtexts and subplots.
Rated M for $4.99. If creatives create based on truths, then the proliferation of personal truth has poisoned universal truths. As for books, look into Sad Puppies, 2010. Puppies.
Really? the Sad and the Rabid Puppies were a movement because the Hugo Awards have been ideologically captured. which, by the way, is true. But I don't think the sad or the rabid puppies went about it in the right way. But everybody should read up on it. It's fascinating.
Oh, I remember that when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read Milking Farm. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Jason Nelson, member for 4 months. Great to have Rob back and not have inflation bros. Love this panel and Criticless. Did I miss your coverage on the Spider-Man popcorn bucket? Don't think we covered it.
We talked about it, I think, last week, but thank you. Yeah.
It looks good.
That Spider-Man bucket with it's like you know what we're talking about, Rob. I heard you and John.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it.
What they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't. I do want the IMAX popcorn bucket.
The IMAX one is the one I want to get.
Yeah.
I hope we can get a gripper cup tonight.
Say him on the building.
Supergirl's
Yeah. Trench coat.
Supergirl. Yeah, for sure.
Big disc energy for $1.99. Let's get physical media on Sundays. Yeah, let's get physical on Sundays.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
Well, you can watch that. We did it yesterday. It was our 241st Sunday.
Albert, not a retro for 5. Christian Bale wasn't right. Even he had said so. That's fine. He was right. You know how hard it is to pretend that you're the savior of mankind? The fucking lighting guy is walking behind you, breaking your immersion. No, he was right.
It seems like every time one of these videos comes out, or audio in some case, when you hear it, you go, oh yeah, I've been on a film set. People get pissed off. I've never, like the one where Tom Cruise was pissed. That
The
one.
COVID one.
And
Yeah.
the Christian Bale, you're like, oh yeah, someone trying to focus. And then like, I like, if you've been on a film set doing 18-hour days for weeks in a row, people get pissed and tensions flare, and that's normal, and you write it off. It's part of the work.
Yep, 100%.
But it doesn't always make it right.
It doesn't make it right. At the same time, someone has to blow off some steam. Okay, back, and we're professionals and whatever. They made up Christian Bale and that cinematographer.
I mean, well, that's the other thing is if you're man enough to apologize and admit you may have overreacted, then that says even more about you as a person than the actual blow up.
Yes. There you go. So there you go.
CC Black for $4.99. Going to SDCC. Want to go for Doomsday presentation? Hopefully they release the trailer there.
Well, 100%. In fact, I think they're putting up the decorations and
They're already, yep.
Oh, yeah, I saw
San
that.
Diego, and they're Doom themed or green or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are doing a panel. I'm going to let all of you know. This is the panel this is Film Threads panel at San Diego Comic-Con. It's Friday, July 24th, 12:30 p.m. 24 ABC. We've got Zachary Levi, Joseph Kahn, Jim Agnew, Robert Meyer Burnett, Christopher Moonlight, and April Wright are going to be on that panel.
Are you supposed to announce that yet?
No, I'm not supposed to announce that.
Not yet.
I'm
You
not,
didn't hear
I'm
it
not-
here.
How do you know about that, Rob?
Well, because they never want you to announce their panels until they've announced them.
Right. I think you will announce it.
Because they
Well,
might move the room or move the time. Like
No one's
maybe-
watching now.
Yeah, no.
Exclusive.
You're turned off.
What?
Yeah, no worries. You can tell. I thought I was thinking live. No.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
don't say
Wink,
that.
wink.
Well, we'll just cut it, clip it out. That's it.
Well, are you Rob? Are you going to SDCC?
Cool. I'm going to your panel. Yes, no, of course. This will be my.
I may throw
I've
you
gone
on
to
this.
every San Diego Comic-Con since 1988.
I've been going.
But you have a panel that appears every single year.
Yes, we do. We do have that panel. But
Oh
then
my
I'm
God.
doing-
Your panel is so. I always end my Comic-Con at your panel.
Yeah.
I can't. The greatest was when Neil deGrasse Tyson came.
That was the best.
That I couldn't, and he stayed the whole time. I'm like, there's no way he's going to stay for this nonsense for 2.5 hours.
Why is SmackDown not on YouTube? I've seen clips, but like the full panel should be on YouTube.
You know what? I there's a lot of things I don't understand. Why can't I get access to the movie I directed? I don't know.
Yeah.
The Starship SmackDown panel. We did our first Starship SmackDown in 2001.
Wow.
2001, 2022. It started out as a joke. You know, we just did as a one-off, and it turned out that year it was the most commented upon panel of all at their con feedback. For those of you guys who don't know, we thought, what would be the dumbest panel that we could get away with at Comic-Con? And it was because we used to go to this bar every Sunday night. All the genre people in LA, all the filmmakers or whatever, were invited to this bar, and anybody could come. It was called Lola's, and it was on Fairfax. And people would come, and we would invariably, by the end of the night, we'd be arguing about which fictional starship could destroy the other fictional starship. And so we came up with this idea about doing a panel called Starship Smackdown. But the thing was, we didn't argue physics or reality. I would say things like, well, they allow miniskirts on the Enterprise, and there's only stuck-up British dudes on the Star Destroyer. So the Enterprise would win. And it was that kind of logic. And for whatever reason, I can't believe that my life has been for the last 25 years, every year doing the same. We've been telling the same jokes for 25 years.
It is hilarious. I was on a SmackDown episode early on and was never invited back. And I don't even argue. I think I showed up with a pair of safety glasses and a
That's why you weren't invited back. You don't argue.
And Enterprise, and I smashed it and never invited back. Here is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Here.
I've got to offer a perspective that has not yet been shared today. Consider how much effort in so many other professions are invented in trying to compare excellence in one era with excellence in another. They try to do this in baseball. Who's better, Babe Ruth versus someone generations later? That's very hard. But they always converge on the following fact, that what matters is not what they look like now, but what they look like to others at the time that they prevailed. And when I look at our poster that was offered this evening, there is only one spaceship that's earlier than that one in that entire poster, and that's the flying saucer from the day the Earth stood still, and its weaponry was only the guy in silver underwear. So, what matters here is, what did that spaceship look like at the time it came out, compared with anything that had been imagined before? And when you consider that, that is the most astonishing, awesome, beautiful, seductive,
Oh my God.
I was literally crying.
It did. Having gone to this panel over the years, Rob, it is so fun. I end my Comic-Con at the panel, you know, just because it's always, they put it Sunday night because it goes long. It's like they give you like a 2-hour slot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, never miss it. So, but we're going to see Doomsday. They will, not just a trailer, we're going to see.
Probably
we're
the
going to
entire
get a.
cast.
We're gonna
Yeah,
get a
I think
trailer.
it's going to be the biggest Hall H panel of all time.
I think so.
Yeah, it'll be impossible to get into. I mean, I'm going to try, but people are going to be spending the night to get into that panel. So, thanks. It's great.
Star Wars has shields too. I see people saying Enterprise will win because Star Wars has shields too. Okay, you got to put that into account. It's not just skirts. Doge Pal for 5. Know what's crazy? It wasn't even the first time Disney did this. Darren Nefsey bragged about a 50-50 male-female split in her show, Star versus the Forces of Evil. Okay.
Never heard, but thank you.
Yeah. Scott Jonesy, member for 27 months. Hail Hydra. The World Cup is absolute cinema.
Anyone else watching the World Cup? I'm really enjoying it. It's so much fun.
It's so much fun. And by the way, the European, everybody, all the foreigners and their reactions to America are the greatest things on social media right now.
That's the only thing I'm watching. Yeah, I'm watching that on TikTok.
It was amazing because I went to see on the West Side, went to Jameson's in Culver City, and I watched, the USA versus Paraguay. That was a week or so ago, and it was weird because at first people were like, yes, they tried to get a USA chant going, and people were like apprehensive. By the end, it was like USA. People were loving it, but it was weird that there was apprehension about even saying that. So kind of strange.
Albert for another 5. I'm 52. I know plenty of good women. Hi, Steph. Christian Bale wouldn't have teeth if he'd talk to me like that. Okay.
It's a film set. It's a yeah. I get it,
Right.
Albert.
Still not right.
Latino / Hi, Polly for $4.99. R&B. I fucking love that vato.
Back at
Hey.
you, sir. We did a great stream the other day.
Yeah,
I
saw
love
that. It was
Polly.
great.
Polly's like
Great.
one of the coolest cats on YouTube.
You should, if he really likes you, he'll invite you to one of his barbecues.
He has numerous times. I've flaked every time. I'm terrible person.
You see, Alan, if he likes you, he'll invite.
I know.
Big Disc Energy for $1.99. I highly recommend Hasta Mañana Cantina in San Diego. Hasta Mañana. Cool.
I recommend. What's the
National
the-
Comedy Theater in
What's that? Yeah, National Comedy
Yeah,
Theater.
go to
I'm gonna-
Hasta Mañana Cantina and then head toward Old Town and see the National Comedy Theater.
There you go.
Especially this Saturday at 7:30. Someone I
There you
know is in the show.
Doge Pal for 2. Abbreviations. Patient Zero of Woke Disney. Horrid fandom.
I wish I knew what that was.
Yeah, we
I'm
didn't.
trying to figure out.
Even the olds don't know what you're talking about. So what is this? What is this project?
FOE.
It was the one before.
Force of Evil.
Yeah.
Force of Evil. Okay.
What? I don't know.
Oh, Star vs. Force of Evil. Yeah. It is a bunch of forced stuff.
Okay.
And thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, AD Ellis, 24, Olequay on Rumble, and Atomic Lori working hard in the background. Let's go around the horn. Everyone plug your channel as we wrap up.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me on. I love fan passion and I love chatting with y'all about all this stuff. Nerding Up is awesome. But you can find me here on YouTube. I cover sci-fi and fantasy news, lore, analysis. The Dune Book Club is happening this Thursday on my channel live, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're covering Dune chapters 14 through 18. Very exciting. I'm also going to be going live soon to talk about Save Stargate, that campaign that's going on. So you can follow me on Twitter at Nerd Cookies for all those updates on when I go live, where you'll find many more Stargate related posts and memes. So thanks.
And don't forget your Etsy store.
Oh yes, I have an Etsy store, ncstitchery.etsy.com. Yeah, you can, all the stuff there I make myself. So thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, you can find me on Criticless Cast this Thursday at 7. We're going to be talking about the OG Super Troopers, and I'm heading straight over to Drunk 3PO's channel right now to do Monday Hangover. We're talking about I don't even remember what we're talking about, but what you really need to do is go watch Widow's Bay right now. I'm absolutely hooked. It's so freaking good.
I hear it's great.
It's so good. I love it.
Thanks.
Go watch it.
Thank
And
you,
review.
Blaine.
Steph, My Nerdy Home. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. All at that same name, My Nerdy Home.
Thanks,
Robert
Steph.
Meyer Burnett. Find me on the Burnett Work. Tomorrow night, I'm going to celebrate the 50th anniversary to the day of Logan's Run. I know you all are excited about it, but
I
you know,
am.
and tonight I'm doing a show too. But Logan's Run, runner. No, you know, if you don't, you don't. Comic books, TV shows. The greatest science fiction movie of 1976 that looks like it came out 50 years before Star Wars, but it was only a year between them.
And remember, it was the first time I saw boobs on the big
Boobs.
screen.
There's a love
at the
shop.
movie
There's
theater.
Jenny Agutter.
And Rob, I think you were at the screening of retrospective screening of Logan's Run at the Cinerama Dome.
Yep.
Michael York was there.
Yep.
I recorded it. I have audio of that.
Really?
Yeah, I've got audio of that.
That was wild. I mean, my mom took me to that, and it was a double bill with Fantastic Planet, which I'd never seen. And after 10 minutes, my mom never did this. She grabbed me. She got up. I was 9 years old. She grabbed me. She said, I am not going to sit here and watch an animated movie where people are treated like ants. And it was me and my sister, and she dragged me out of the theater. She never did that before.
And we started a rumor years ago that you were producing the live action remake of Fantastic Planet,
Which I still want to do.
You should just spread that rumor.
I'll get some great talented Asian animators and we'll just start doing it. We don't even have to have the rights, right?
Live action.
By the way, I will say, in my audio drama, True Noir, Barry Bostwick does the voice of FDR, and Barry Bostwick was the voice of the hero in the New Line. I think it was not New Line. It was New World. I think New World released Fantastic Planet in America. He did the American dub of Fantastic Planet. So now I've got 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon with Fantastic Planet. So it's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah. All right. And Badger.
My mom covered my eyes during the dance scene in True Lies, the Jamie Lee Curtis strip scene. And I've never
Good for
forgiven
her.
I've never forgiven her for
Good
it.
for her.
My grandma never did that.
Good for you.
Badger Cast coming up in 30 minutes. We're going to talk about House of the Dragon and whether that was worth the wait or maybe it left a little bit to be desired. And then we've got a bunch of Supergirl stuff and all the reactions and some new dynamic duo information. And if you don't know what that is, tune into
BadgerCast. And Alan
and
and
Wednesday, early review of Jackass, the best. Early review of Supergirl.
So Alan and I are going to AMC Burbank 16. We're going to watch Supergirl. We will post an out of the theater reaction, and then we'll have our full review on Wednesday for Hollywood on the Rocks. That's it for us. Thanks, everyone. This is my favorite thing to do on Mondays. My favorite thing.
Thank you.
So thank you all. We'll be back next week. Alan,
let's get out of here.